I made $500,000 in a 24-month period just through X and LinkedIn. Yes, just by posting on X and LinkedIn, sending DMs on X and LinkedIn, and directly through those platforms. I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. So if you run a B2B or a business to business company, you're either a founder or you're a salesperson for a larger B2B service company, then you can do the same. I'm going to show you exactly how I did it in 3 phases. The first phase is 0 to 10K, second phase is 10K to 100K, and the third phase is 100K to a million. I'm not at a million yet. Hopefully I'll be there soon. But this phase, what I'm doing here, will lead me to the first $1 million in revenue. After I go through that, I'll share with you the top 10 lessons that I learned from this experience. If you don't know me, my name is Matthew Brown. I run a ghostwriting agency for Twitter and LinkedIn, X and LinkedIn. And I have done $7 million in client sales up to this date. So let's dive in. Phase 1, 0 to 10K. So if I jump back all the way September of 2021, this was my first real experience with what was known as Twitter at the time. And I wrote this piece of content. I'd taken a course by Sahil Bloom called Audience Building 2.0. And he gave us a lot of ideas on how we could grow on Twitter. And so I thought, you know what? Let me give this a try. At the time, I was running a mortgage business, but this was something that seemed like fun. I've always enjoyed writing. And I wrote this post on a Saturday. And you can see it got 9,000 likes, 2.8K retweets, 107 comments, 6,000 bookmarks, and over 1 million impressions. And the day that I wrote it, so I probably spent 6 or 7 or 8 hours writing it. I actually wrote 20 different, this is what you call a hook, the beginning of a piece of content. I wrote like 20 of them. This one's incredibly simple, but it's the one I decided to go with. And I posted it, nothing happened. And then I looked again an hour later and it got a little bit of traction. An hour later, it just started blowing up. I was like, what the heck is going on? And after about 24 hours, this was on a Saturday. That night, I remember I went to a football game. There was about 60,000 people in the stadium, and I remember thinking, 20 of these stadiums of people saw what I posted today. That was the first time that I really just felt the power of writing online. This took me from about 0 to 3,000 followers, and I couldn't believe it. I'd never felt a dopamine rush like I did right then. So that was on September 25th. About 2 weeks later, October 9th, I was like, let's try this again. And you can see this is about productivity, which I'm a fan of, but it's not like I'm an expert. This one is 13 tactical tips to improve your sleep without buying a brand new $5,000 mattress. So, yes, I'm a fan of figuring out how to sleep well. Also not something I'm an expert at, but I wrote it and I got another 2,000 followers and went viral again. And again, just blown away by the reach that was possible. So at this point, I just couldn't believe the ups and the downs of this. Like, I'd never had so much dopamine, but then when things didn't go well, I'd spend a lot of time on a piece of content and it just bombed. I would get very frustrated and feel bad about myself. And I was running a business at the time, and I felt like writing on Twitter was taking away from my attention on the business, which, to be fair, that was true. So I focused on the mortgage business, whatever, things were going well until April of 2022. In April of 2022, the interest rates, which you can see here on the left, really all of 2022, they just started rising, but the 30-year, you can see, rose very, between March and April, it rose a lot. And the mortgage business is a cyclical business, and I figured, you know what? I don't like what I'm doing. I really like this whole Twitter thing. Like, maybe there's something I could do here. And so I started exploring what could I do on Twitter. So you can see at the end of April, I reached out to this person who was already running a ghostwriting agency. A small one, but I reached out and I was like, hey, I've written some cool pieces before. Would love to talk to you and see if I can do some freelancing on your behalf. Let me know what you think. Great stuff. What kind of commitment are you looking for? It's like, well, I'm still running my mortgage business, so maybe 10 hours a week, maybe get 20 hours down the line. He's like, sure, why don't we test this out? What subjects do you want to work on? So I started writing for him. And over the course of several months, that's what he paid me, $7,400, which, I was happy about. But what really happened, so about a month, April 27th, so May, June, so about 6 weeks after I started ghostwriting with this ghostwriting agency, just doing some freelance work, I was talking to a guy that I met through Twitter. I just DM'd him, thought he was really cool. We hopped on a call. And then I was trying to decide, should I just say bye to this mortgage business and lean into Twitter, start my own ghostwriting agency? And this guy really encouraged me to do it. So I felt like, you know what? Let me do it. He actually he said, hey, I know somebody. So he sent me my first client. Turns out I already knew who the client was, but he made the connection and I hopped on a call and I sold my first client. So June 11th, 2024, I sold it for $2,500 per month. I actually came in originally. He had the expectation it was going to be $2,000. I said $2,500, and he's like, "That's fine as long as you can provide a little bit more content than what I proposed." And I said, "Okay, let's do it." So first client, June 11th, 2024. I'm still ghostwriting with the other agency, but I now have my own client. So we add up what I was getting paid in Venmo, and then what my client paid me, just shy of 10 grand. So 0 to 10K, we're calling it right there. Next phase. Phase 2, 10K to 100K. So, and by the way, to land this first client, what I did was I talked about my own writing, and I shared one of the clients that I'd done a really good job with for the agency. I mentioned, hey, here's a post that I wrote by him. Kind of just show some proof of concept, and he was willing to give me a chance. So I'm very grateful. I have not raised rates on this client to this day, and he's still with me. So phase 2, 10K to 100K. So let's fast forward to September of 2022. Remember, my first client I closed in June. This was the first month where I was like, I started sending it a little bit more. I wanted to grow the business. So I landed 2 clients, both through Twitter. One of them I DM'd, and I'd had some conversations back and forth with, and they're like, hey, they actually wanted a partner originally, and I was exploring that opportunity, decided it didn't make sense, but they're like, hey, I need some help with my content. Can you help me? And so I sold it for $2,000 a month, and I was doing a little bit less content than for the other person, the first $2,500 per month client. The other client, they came to me because I posted something. I was practicing what I preach, not perfectly, but I was tweeting, and he saw something that I was a ghostwriter, reached out, we hopped on a call, and was like, he wanted a half package essentially. So I, at this point, just wanted money. I was like, let's do it, $2,000 per month. We started. This client, the second one, they wanted leads. The first client just wanted followers. I was brand new, so I was like, okay, let's try both and see how it goes. October. So fast forward 1 month, this is where things really started taking off. So I went from $6,500 to $15,000 that month. And I got 3 new clients. So one of them, $3,000 per month. I sent them a DM. And then the other 2 came from referrals. And both referrals, one was from a guy that I met through Twitter. We'd had some calls. I'd added some free value to him, and he sent me a referral. The other came through another guy, almost the exact same situation. We'd hopped on a call. I tried to add some value, and he sent me a referral. So both of them came through Twitter. People referring them to me once, they had someone that needed help with Twitter. This is what my DM conversation looked like to land this $3,000 per month client. What's up, man? Just sub to your newsletter. Looking forward to it. Looks like you're crushing on Twitter right now. Thanks. Sure thing. Main goal right now to grow the newsletter through Twitter or to book calls? To book calls. Cool. I'd throw that in your bio so people know. Just a little bit of just a tip I recommend. You ever consider working with a ghostwriter? I've helped some agency clients add 20K plus in MRR within a few months of working with them. I did a really good job with my first client and like already had some good results I could leverage. Let me know if you're interested and I can send you a case study. Thanks, I'm not interested, but maybe in the future. But I would love to see the case study. So I said, got it. What's your email? Get his email, send him an email, and then I close him because he liked the case study. So when people say no, it doesn't mean they mean no. Okay, let's fast forward. November, we grow a little bit. Nothing crazy here, but landed one more client, and it was through Twitter. He said, I see you ghostwrite. So I actually reached out to him. I DM'd him, but he saw my content. So it kind of worked as a pair. I'd never made this much money in my life. So I was feeling very rich, and it was amazing. I was the only writer. I had a couple pieces of software, so this was almost 100% margin. It felt pretty unbelievable. Okay, December, 17,000 to 12,500. Hello, churn. Nice to meet you. I've never experienced churn before. This is my first real experience. I now know much more about churn. So 2 clients churned on me, and one of them, it was they had a hurricane hit. They lived on the East Coast, and they lost their house, and insurance was going to cover the house, but they had to front a lot of cash, and it was going to be a couple of months. What am I going to say? I'm not going to force it to happen anyway. But I felt bad because I was frustrated because this client in particular had landed over $100,000 in the 2 months that we worked together. So incredible results, and I lost the client. I was very frustrated. This other client, it started an AI newsletter, and this was right when ChatGPT launched. And so we went from zero. Well, sorry, he wasn't at zero, but we gained 10,000 email subscribers organically from Twitter in 1 month. And he churned at the end of that month because he didn't have, the newsletter wasn't making any money, and he was bankrolling what he was paying me. Also very frustrating. 2 great results, and I lost 2 clients. So there's a lesson there. I guess the lesson would be you want to sell to people who have money and have a business already, because if they don't, you're the first one to go. Cool. So fast forward to March of 2023. So we're just looking quarter 3 of 2022, quarter 4 of 2022, quarter 1 of 2023. And I hit 99,500. So maybe I should change this from 10K to 99,500, but you get the point. So March, I got there. So I started June, and in a little less than a year, I made the first $100,000. Cool. Next, phase 3, 100K to 1 million. Okay, so let's jump back a tiny bit. January 1st of 2023, I had this big milestone. I hired a ghostwriter to work with me. This was just a freelance ghostwriter. They're going to be part-time, not a huge commitment. I could flex up and down. I could do some of the writing myself. I was really wanted to take care of the clients, and so I wasn't going to be okay with just mediocre. And guess how I found the writer? Through a friend I met on Twitter. Twitter is just my best friend. So Kira Drew, if you know who that is, we became friends. I paid for some consulting from him, and we had some good chats, and we're still good friends to this day. Anyway, he recommended this guy that I should talk to, and so I reached out to him. We hopped on a call, decided to work together, and January 1st I hired him, brought him on, and that was a huge step for me because I'd never done that before. Okay, March 2023, I see Dickie Bush and Nicholas Cole. They run this program called Chip 30 for 30. I've never taken it, but I saw that they were launching a ghostwriting product to make you be a better ghostwriter. And I read some of the stuff, and I saw, Nicholas Cole, he grew a ghostwriting agency from 0 to 100K a month, 180K a month. He's going to be the one that's, putting this course and curriculum together. Like, all right, let me jump on this. So I decided, let's buy this course. Let's learn a new skill. They're going to teach you how to create email courses, which is like a good companion for what I was doing, which was Twitter ghostwriting at the time. So new skill. So let me tell you, when I buy something, I buy a program, I have decided that I'm going to be the best student in this program. I'm going to do everything that they say times 2. And then if I do everything they say times 2 and I still don't get results, their program sucks. But I'm not going to say that their program sucks until I do that. And so I went in with that mentality, and I worked hard. I went through the program. I did everything that they said. And in the very first month, so in March of 2023, I sold 2 clients on $5,000 email course packages. This was new for me, but I was learning the skill and I was sending it. So one of those was an upsell to an existing customer. The other one was through a Twitter DM. You can see this is right when I joined it. Now it's called Premium Ghostwriting Academy. At the time, it was called Ghostwriting Intensive. And I hit my first above $20,000 a month. So $21,500. It was amazing. And we fast forward a little bit, and wow, this is sad. I had a massive dip. So I go from $21,000 1 month to $13,000 in 2 months. This was a big dip. I had a couple of things going on in my life. You can see I say here now, hello churn, my old friend. It was becoming familiar. I was running a subscription business, pretty high ticket. Clients weren't staying that long. I was getting to know churn real well. Let's get rid of this arrow. So at the time, my wife and I decided, hey, you know what? You're done with school. I'm working remotely. Let's travel. We head to San Diego, Dana Point, month-long Airbnbs, and we're spending a lot of money. We're going out to restaurants. I was playing some League of Legends, which I hate League of Legends, not really, but it was wasting time. I wasn't spending my time doing the things that I knew would bring the business forward. And after these 2 months, I took a good hard look at myself. Was like, what am I doing? I need to get back at it. So I do. I basically committed to focusing and getting stuff done again. And you can see a little bit later that year, October, November, this is $68,000 plus I had about a $6,000 wire, a little bit more. So did pretty close to $75,000 in revenue in 2 months. Again, mind blown. And the big lesson that I had here was after I kind of had to have these down months to see that, when I don't do these inputs, I don't grow. But then I made that realization and I started figuring out what are the inputs that drive my business forward. And I actually have, you can't see it, but I have a whiteboard over here that has the inputs that I do each week, because I know if I focus on the inputs, the outputs will follow. That's the lesson I learned here. And so when I posted content consistently, I DM'd people consistently, I did free work and added free value consistently, the business would grow. And that's exactly what happened. This was amazing. I started growing my team, and everything was just going really well. Fast forward, had some ups, some downs, but we get to June of 2024. So that's 2 months ago now. It's August. And, I started posting LinkedIn content for clients back in, when was it? It was, I think it was mid to late. It was June of 2023. I thought I had this in here. June of 2023 is when I first started posting for LinkedIn content for clients. But I didn't really do it for myself. And to be honest, I had a really big barrier, obstacle, just like a belief obstacle. I was worried about what people would think of me. I didn't want to feel like a shill to my friends, the people who knew me on LinkedIn. On Twitter, it felt different because I didn't know anyone. But it took me a long time to overcome it. However, I decided, you know what, let's commit to posting on LinkedIn 5 days a week. Started in June. Guess what happened? Very first month I started, I get my first LinkedIn sales call. Lesson learned. I just need to I need to practice what I preach. I see it working for my clients, and I wasn't doing it for myself. So jumped on, and now it's been a couple of months, and I'm consistently booking calls from LinkedIn now and getting leads there. Cool. Next, I hit 500,000. So 2 years, June 2022, June 2024, $500,000 in revenue. And I'm on to $1 million. So now the business is growing faster and it's making more in revenue per month. So the next 500,000, my hope should be a lot faster than the last 500,000. So it took me 2 years to get to 500,000. And I think it'll take a lot less to get to $1 million. So very excited. That's kind of the highlights, milestones of my story with this X and LinkedIn ghostwriting agency. I'll tell you exactly how I help my clients land clients. But most of my clients have come from inbound content where they DM me because they like something that I posted. Two, I'm doing some outreach to potential prospects, usually offering some type of free work or some type of free education. And then they're consuming some of my content. We hop on a call and I sell them. And then third is through some type of referral partnership. I have a couple of formal partnerships where I pay people if they send me deals, but a lot of it has just been either clients send me referrals or someone who I know on Twitter and LinkedIn who trusts me and likes me sends me someone who needs Twitter and LinkedIn ghostwriting. So it's essentially all come from Twitter and LinkedIn. So let's zoom out a little bit. That's the story. Now let's get to the 10 key lessons. Number 1, post on X and LinkedIn. This was the engine that drove everything. I want to be my own best case study. Don't want to be the bald barber, as they say. It's very clear to me that if I do that input and if I, post more, get better over time, I get more leads. Second, give free value. So this is a huge part of how I've been able to sell clients is I figure out how can I help you the most and at the lowest risk way. And I treat all of my sales calls like consulting calls where I just advise them on what I think they should do based on what I've seen. And I recommend that they do it. And if they have the time and the skill to do it themselves, I encourage them to do it themselves. And if they want help, then I offer my services to help. Third, pay to upskill and to skip mistakes. So I saw this graph the other day where it's like the difference between a tiny business and a $100 million business is you actually have the same inputs and same energy. It's just that on the $100 million business, all of the arrows are pointing up. Everything's moving in the same direction. And then on the small business, it's like there's one arrow going right, then there's like a pause, and then there's one going left. You're just switching directions constantly. And so skipping mistakes is probably the fastest way to grow your personal net worth and to grow your business in a healthy manner. And so I've been very, very happy to pay for some courses, some coaching from people who know better than I do, and skip mistakes. I've skipped dozens of mistakes, and I'm so grateful for it. Next, hire great people so you can focus on higher leverage tasks. So this is something that I've done, but I'm also working on. I'm not 100% out of the fulfillment. And, this week I have to step in and help out with some pieces of content that just didn't meet our quality bar. And so it's hiring and it's training. This is something that is so important, and I'm just learning this more and more, and I'm leaning into it. Okay, fifth, stop focusing on if it's scalable. So for a long time, especially 2023, I kind of told you that little down phase that I had where I had 2 months with really low revenue and profit. I was not committed to the business. I kept thinking, should I even be doing this? This isn't a software company. I can't grow it to many millions of dollars. Is it worth it? There's probably something better I could be doing with my time. And it took me to stop thinking that and to just say, you know what? Who cares? Maybe I could go get a job and make 120, 150 or something like that a year, but I could make way more than that with this business. I've already proved that I can. Like, let me just focus on growing my net worth and taking things one step at a time, incremental improvements. And I started doing that. I've learned so much since, and you know what? It's proving to be more and more scalable as I make more money and invest more money in the business. 6, when you have problems, face them head on. So that again, let's go back to that period, those 2 months of just struggles. I had some problems, and instead of facing them head on, I was distracting myself with TV shows or video games or going out to eat a lot and staying outside. I've even done it with the gym before, even healthy ways to distract. But I've realized that my life is better when I violently attack the things that are stressing me out. And so that's my approach now. Is if there's something stressing me out, I just want to take care of it as fast as possible so I can get it out of my life. 7, niche down to the people who you help most. So after about a year of doing this for people, I went and looked at the list of clients that I had, and I did a quick analysis. I didn't have a ton of clients, so it was very quick, but it was like, what are the best clients, the best 20% of clients? Like, who are they? What kind of businesses do they have compared to the people who have not been the best clients? And I realized the people going for followers, newsletter subscribers, reach, those were my worst clients. The ones who had high ticket services and were getting leads, those were my best clients. And so I decided, you know what, that's what I need to focus on. Let's go B2B, high ticket services. And ever since, I've stuck with that, and it's been so much better. Okay, content works for leads and for job applicants. So every person that I've hired has come through me posting on Twitter, on LinkedIn, my email, and then a couple of Slack groups that I'm in. That's it. And so if you have a business that really needs great talent, post content online. Like, it's such a great way to get leads and to get job applicants. It works both ways. That's the power of building a brand. 9, practice what you preach. If I'm telling people I can help you get leads from X and LinkedIn, I should be doing the same. Thankfully, that's where all these clients came from. But for a long time, I sold LinkedIn without doing LinkedIn content myself. I think I need to be doing it myself before I sell it to other people. And so that's my approach going forward. And I'm not planning on doing YouTube, selling YouTube services anytime soon, but I am starting on YouTube because I'm telling my clients, hey, this is the next channel for you that can really help you. And I'm going to do it myself. And then 10, find the inputs that lead to outputs and focus on them. So in my case, I've got posting 2 tweets per day on X. I've got posting 3 long forms on X per week. I've got posting daily on LinkedIn. I've got posting on YouTube now because I'm getting started. What else do I have? I'm looking at my whiteboard here. I have newsletters. So right now I just send 1 per week. I want to get to 3 per week. I have daily DMs, so 20 DMs per day. I have 2 CRM follow-ups, so just following up with past clients, sales calls, etc., twice per week. Engaging daily on X and LinkedIn. Those are some of the inputs that if I just focus on those, I know my business will grow. I know I'll get leads. And I'd encourage you to find what are the inputs that drive the outputs in your business and focus on those. Hope that was helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.